Hi, I'm Scott,
I'm James.
and this is
A podcast from a podcast
Toys from a Galaxy Far, Far Away. Today, we're going to talk about this episode. We're going to talk about why you see more toys in the aisle at your local box store, discount store, bulk store like Walmart, and less of the other. So, you want to start out?
Yeah. So let's just say, for example, I was in Walmart last week. Just an example. I walked down.
Is that where you buy most of your toys?
50-50 between that and eBay. I mean, sometimes Target I've noticed is Target's very clever. Target here in Evansville is the only store that sold solo figures.
Well, I listened to a podcast called Toy Run, and they're just Star Wars, and they have said that Target's got a deal with Lucasfilm, with Hasbro, and so you're going to see more Star Wars toys at Target. And maybe was it Amazon? And GameStop. Now we have a GameStop here in the city that we live in. I don't go to the mall very much. I don't really care for the mall anymore. GameStop gets some exclusives. And then, as James was saying, Target.
And for me, Target's a mile from my house. So if I ever need to whip up to Target, I'll go there. Otherwise, I have to go from one side of town or the other. You know, because I live basically in the smack dab middle, and the Walmarts are either east or west.
So, how many Targets are in our city?
One. On the north side.
How many Walmarts are in our city of Evansville, Indiana? Four. So,
two of them are just regular Walmarts without the growth. There's only two that are like regular Walmarts that have everything.
like a super Walmart.
Correct. And then the other two are just grocery Walmarts. Yeah. So they don't have action figures or stuff like that.
Well, there's actually a third Walmart that's not too far away in a nearby city that's not really separated. I mean, it's
part of Evansville, but not really.
The east side Walmart here, the other super Walmart's only 5 more miles away. So, would you agree it would be three Walmarts?
3. Yeah, that's about accurate.
So, I don't know about other cities, but we've only got one Target, and I can't always get over there to buy anything.
It's on the other side.
But like I said, there's Star Wars exclusives. Now, I know Walmart used to have a lot of exclusives, but I really haven't seen that many anymore.
Yeah, I think that's something they could really capitalize on, because there's a couple of really great figures out there that were Walmart exclusives back in the day, and I wish I had bought them. Yeah. And because now they're, you know, anytime somebody says this is exclusive to this one store, you're not going to find it, or you're going to find it, but it's going to be 3 times the value of somebody's going to pay for it.
Well, that's what, that podcast I was talking about, Toy Run, if you want to look it up, these guys named it because they go on toy runs. And to get everything you want new, because that's a kind of a guarantee that you'll get everything, you have to make a toy run across different different stores in your city, if you have one in your city. And I know Marvel is starting to have Walgreens exclusive. So now there you go, another one where it's a drugstore and Walgreens exclusive for a Marvel Legends figure. But I don't know if that's exactly what we were going to talk about. Like, let's say that you're walking down Walmart toy aisle. What are you going to see?
Well, I see, when I go down, at least I go left to right, I see probably a good whole aisle of just Hot Wheels. And Hot Wheels, for some reason, has really come back and started to capitalize, because Hot Wheels for a long time wasn't selling that great.
Yeah.
But I think they're starting to cross-platform stuff, which is smart of them.
Yeah, you'll see Star Wars Hot Wheels.
There's even Marvel Hot Wheels. I've been seeing those.
Now, Captain American car, it never really interested me. Now, a few years ago, it's not been that long ago, Hot Wheels made some Star Trek ships that are die-cast, small ones. The price was decent. You had a little Enterprise and an Reliant, etc. They were kind of cool, but you know, they didn't keep going with them. I guess they didn't sell. So you'll see a lot of Hot Wheels. What else?
A lot of Hot Wheels, and then on your right side, you're gonna have a whole aisle of Marvel figures. I mean, everything. I see.
A lot.
4 pegs to just Thor, and I'm like, okay, I get it. They made a new movie, but it's been before that. It was a ton of these figures that just sat there, and then I keep going down to the next section of the aisle, and there's a Star Wars section.
That's James' section.
My personal favorite, and I usually get excited, but lately I've been in a blatant rage mode when I go down the Star Wars section. There's nothing in this section. It's basically almost half
Anger will
empty.
take you to the dark side.
Huh?
Anger will take you to the dark side.
I'm getting there. If they don't start restocking the shelves, I'm going to get angry and get a box knife and start doing it myself. But, you know, I get down these aisles and I start looking and I'm like, I think, you know, the best advice I ever heard was this. The only way to make money is to actually have something on display for somebody to buy.
Well, that makes sense.
So for me, Hasbro's slowly starting to lose my business, and I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and it bugs me. So I'm like, hey, I want to buy figures.
Now, is that Hasbro's fault?
Or is it Walmart's?
Or?
But if they don't have the product in, then that's kind of on both of them.
Yeah, but I'm going to have to put some blame on Lucasfilm because of there's some backlash. Because when The Force Awakens came out, there was toys everywhere. In fact, I think they're still putting toys out with Rey, you know, and Kylo, and they're still making them. But I saw some of them like linger there for the longest time. In fact, the Last Jedi, there's a play set. Yeah. And it's there. I think the tag said $150. It's on sale for $45. And it's kind of a cool playset. I've heard reviews on it, but you didn't like the movie. I didn't like the movie, but if you just wanted to get it as a generic playset, which is what that movie should have been. I mean, it was basically it could have been a great movie if it just wasn't a Star Wars movie. But you know, I'm not going to get into that. But it got some really good reviews, but it's still sitting there. Now Walmart, I do know that they get what they get. I've asked all these stores. I mean, even dollar stores. Dollar stores will have the occasional Star Wars figure and Marvel figure. They'll be only 5 POA, but they get what they get because I'll go ask them, and that's it. We get what we get. We put out what we put out, you know, and they don't care. They don't care. So, and they don't ever know when they'll put out the figures you're interested in. It could be at 2 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, or it could be, you know, it's all different.
2 months from now.
Yeah.
I know a buddy of mine, he spent the last 6 months looking for a Grand Admiral Thrawn. He had to drive to Canada to go buy one.
Wow.
But he lives in Wisconsin,
Yeah.
so he said,
Wasn't Power of the Force 2 or somebody
this
made
was the new one, the
Oh,
Black
new one?
Series
Oh,
one.
okay.
And I guess the Walmart he was at in his area didn't have it.
Well, you know, Toys R Us is still in business in Canada. They're still getting toys up there, you know, Toys R Us, but they're all shut down here. And I've heard that Toys R Us are still getting their exclusives up there. In America, from what I gather, Amazon is. I mean, there were Toys R Us exclusives that were in the pipeline that were on its way out, but they went out of business. So Amazon's getting them, from what I gather.
Yeah, I noticed Amazon seems to be
So you'll see Star Wars,
Marvel.
a little bit of Star Wars, and you'll see a lot of Marvel in our local Walmart.
Just trying to think what else is in that aisle. I mean, you think anything?
Well, I mean, I see some little Harry Potter figures.
There's always that little end section that's got like the pop figures and.
Yeah.
Just so everybody knows, I don't like pop figures under any circumstance.
Neither do I. I don't even call them figures. They're pop vinyls or whatever. We are not interested. If you want them, I wish you a pile of them, and you can roll around in them. But I'm not interested in pops. pop vinyls. To me, they're like Beanie Babies. They're the bobbleheads. They're here now.
They're novelty item. They're not. I mean, yeah, you want to collect them, cool, but I mean, I don't want to say for the hardcore collectors, I don't look down on them. I don't see an interest in them. They're cheesy. They're corny. They don't look.
Yeah, I don't make anybody mad, but I don't like them. I mean, he's not interested. So anyway, and then of course, whatever movie franchise is coming out, like here not too long ago, what was Rampage? Rampage came out. Jurassic World.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I heard those Jurassic World toys, especially that big, which I haven't seen Jurassic World yet. I heard it's pretty cool toy. I've heard that. But I'm not in it. I don't even have any original Jurassic Park toys. I had a couple of dinosaurs, but I think I got one figure left. But I'm not into dinosaurs as much as other people are. But I love that movie. I mean, and the other movies were okay.
Yeah, I mean, I
haven't seen Jurassic World.
I watched
this latest Jurassic World, I should say.
Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in LA and I went to the Universal Studios that owns Jurassic Park, and I went and bought I bought a little thing, and I still have it after all these years. And for me, I had a chance to buy a bunch of those figures in a lot about 5 years ago.
Yeah. Well, same here. I've seen them in a box before. Maybe it's something cool to have, but I'm stuck with spend a lot of money or effort on them. But those are the things that I see at Walmart, and it's things that I don't see that I do want to see, which we were talking about at a previous podcast, is I don't see any Star Trek. I'm going to do a video on Star Trek. James is the Star Wars guy.
Hey, I'll tag along. I mean, I'm okay with that.
I love Star Wars, but my first love was Star Trek. But anyway, it's revived slowly but surely. J.J. Abrams had the movies, and there was a batch of toys that came out. They had the ship, which I've got 2 of them. It was an awesome toy. It was a good replica. The figures weren't that great, but they had some play sets. And then they had Into Darkness, no toys.
I remember that.
The Star Trek Beyond, no toys. And
they might have had toys, but they weren't mainstream. That's the thing that's really hard, because they make these blockbuster franchise movies, and then where's the toys, or where's
the Star Trek toys? There is a reason. It's because CBS owns Star Trek TV series,
and they want probably a buttload of money for it.
Who is it that owns? Is it Paramount?
Paramount
owns the movies. So they made the movies, but Playmates has always made Star Trek toys for the most part. And they made all those big ones from the 90s, which I've got almost all of them. They're awesome. Even though they're 5 POA. Except the last few Voyager, they were actually 7 or 9 POA. But Playmates made the toys for this first Star Trek reboot in 2009. And, I mean, they were a pretty decent hit. I mean, I liked them. But what happened was they were fussing between the studios, the
contractors,
CBS and the movie studio. There was some fussing, and then everybody else had to suffer because of these people couldn't get their crap together. From what I gather, Star Wars made 2/3 of its money from toys. I mean, there's a lot of money in it, and if you don't make the toys, you're not going to make as much money. You know, I mean, I think
you're going to get that. You're going to get total community backlash, because you're going to piss off a lot of people. Yeah. Really, a lot of these hardcore Star Wars fans. I know a buddy of mine. He collects. I mean, you think I collect figures? He collects twice as much as me. And he said, "I won't go see the movies now. If you don't make figures, I won't see your movie."
Really?
He's just that way.
Well, I'm not that way, but it just, you know, the movie you make today is going to reflect on the one you make next year, a year from now, because I've seen it. I mean, Star Trek Into Darkness wasn't received very well, and the story, the story just wasn't really. I mean, it was Wrath of Khan remade, and it's kind of, people look at it as kind of lazy, you know, and there's some sticklers to it. And then you got Beyond, which came in after that, which was an awesome movie.
Is that the one with the Romulans, or is that the first one?
Beyond was the one where they had the swarm ships.
I don't think I've seen Beyond.
It was good.
Don't spoil nothing.
Don't spoil. But it was really good. But people were still wincing from Into Darkness. There's still no toys. So, and then you got Discovery has been out one season, and then you've got. They're going to make some standalone stuff. They're going to make an animated series. Still haven't heard anything about toys, except for McFarlane has made 2 toys. Or McFarlane's made a Captain Picard and a Captain Kirk, which I've got copies of. I mean, Diamond Select, I don't know how you're going to beat them. Todd McFarlane's got a great, he's an awesome guy. He's got a great toy franchise. He's a great comic book artist. But
once you have something,
he's making Picard and Kirk again. How many am I going to have, you know? And I did see where he's making the phaser from Discovery. I can't talk about Discovery. I saw the first episode or 2. Then they took, you know, I refused to subscribe to the streaming service. But anyway, they should make toys. These are cool. I'll probably still buy them. Even if I don't like the series necessarily. I mean, there's some movies, some of the Star Trek movies, you know. Some of the series, I like some of the series better, but I bought the toys. I mean, it was all pretty good. So, but I don't see too much of that. I mean, you're seeing what? You've seen the DC,
Marvel, depleted Star Wars at best. I mean, that's me being nice.
Yeah.
And it's just a bummer because it's, you know, as a kid, I used to go into the store and I'd be excited to go to the toy aisle. Now I'm like, I don't know. They got the same thing. I was here 2 weeks ago, and they got the same thing. I wish.
Well, I've had to buy some of my stuff either off of eBay, Entertainment, or some of these other distributors because they only carry it at Walmart. And, you know, and they'll release it to comic book stores, and we've got a couple here in town, but there's no guarantee that they'll have. I mean, I'd rather buy it locally. There's no guarantee they'll have it in stock. They could probably order it for you. But some of these higher end ones that I like, don't go to Walmart. But I heard that, you know, distribution is all screwed up. These folks just there's just something about distribution that they just don't really.
They just don't care. I mean, that's what it shows.
They can't get their act together. From what I gather, and it's because they just don't care. I mean, Mattel had their problems with Digital River and some other. I mean, I've got a lot of Ghostbusters figures, and you know that movie, the most recent Ghostbusters. Did you see it?
Yeah, but I don't want to talk about it. I didn't like it.
The figures lingered on the peg at Walmart for months.
I was gonna say, I thought I saw them on the clearance aisle, and I think they still sat there for a long time.
That movie, if it wasn't a reboot, it would have been okay, maybe, you know, if it had been an original story. But anyway, they make figures of all that stuff, but they're not making figures of other stuff. You know?
Yeah, and I think these franchises have just got a gold mine, and they're squandering among themselves and how to